The views, information, and opinions expressed during the following program are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent the views of Access Communications, its representatives, or its employees.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Weyburn City Council, our regular Monday night meeting. It's May 25th. We have got a pretty busy night tonight. Some big items on the agenda. We're going to talk about cell towers, we're going to talk about bylaws, we're going to talk about oil show coming up. So we got lots to do. Let's get to work. I would think first off, let's ask for a motion to approve the minutes of the May 11th meetings.
Thank you, Worship. I would like to make a motion that the meeting from the regular council meeting and the strategic planning and priorities meeting held on May 11th, 2026 be approved.
Thank you.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Any omissions, errors, or changes to those minutes? Hearing none, then I will call the question. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you very much. You have the agenda before you. I would ask if there's any additions or changes to the agenda. Council? None? Administration?
Thanks, Your Worship. No additions tonight.
All right. Thank you. We will continue. Public hearings and notices. There are none. Delegations, proclamations, and petitions. There are none. Reports of standing committees. So this is an opportunity for folks who sit on our standing committees in the city to make commentary on what's going on. So does anybody have it? I see Councillor Sidlowski, you're eager. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you. I would like to provide an update from our Weyburn Arts Council. So there was a few of our board members who participated in Artists Next Door that was held this past weekend. It sounded like it was very successful, so I'd like to congratulate them on that. I would also like to share that Gifted in the Park will be held on August 8th, put on by Weyburn Arts Council, and a new showing has opened up in the Weyburn Credit Union Community Gallery. It's a very special and fun one, in my opinion. It is called Weyburn Through the Eyes of Children, and it is artwork from Legacy Park Grade 2 and the 2-3 split. And I think it's pretty special to showcase some of our young up-and-coming artists. So that's about it for me.
Thank you. Anybody else? Councillor Bador.
We are in full swing of organizing the Agricultural Society Fair again this year. So there's going to be a big call out for volunteers, but we got some great stuff coming this year. We're doing, I don't know what they actually called it, but a motocross show. We're going to have a horses versus horsepower. What else? We're gonna smash something. I don't know what that is, but we're gonna smash something. And lawnmower races and a whole bunch of other stuff. That's Thursday, and they're back to the rodeo Friday, Saturday. But lots of new stuff this year, so please come out and support us. And if you can't come out and support, we're gonna get you to volunteer.
That's great. Thank you. Anybody else? None? Okay, we'll continue. Next up is the consent agenda. There's nothing on the consent agenda tonight, so we will move straight in to motions. First up is a special occasion application from the Weyburn Agriculture Society. We'll look to the Director of Leisure Services for that, please.
Thanks, Your Worship. Special occasion liquor permits are required by the Saskatchewan Liquor and Gaming Authority for selling and serving alcohol that is not held in a commercially permitted establishment. Written municipal approval must be submitted respecting all outdoor functions. Special occasion application, which is attached, has been submitted by the Weyburn Agricultural Society for their annual Agricultural Society Fair, July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of 2026. The application outlines the following plans. The event will include the sale of alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages. The event times are 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. each day over 3 days. The event will be held at the Weyburn Agricultural Society Fairgrounds on 410 Prairie Avenue, Weyburn, which will be fenced and will have hired professional security for the duration of the event. The event is projected to bring 300 to 500 attendees. Security will be provided by Logistics Security, operating from 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. all 3 days with 6 guards on duty. The purpose of the event is to entertain the community with the annual fair, raise funds, and give back to the community and educate youth. Proceeds from the event will be used for repairs and giving back to the community. The Leisure Services Department has reviewed the application and confirmed that all required documentation has been submitted. No concerns were identified during the review process. We recommend that Council provide approval to the Weyburn Agricultural Society to make an application to the Saskatchewan Liquor and Gaming Authority to sell alcohol during their annual Agricultural Society Fair held outdoors at the Weyburn Agricultural Society Fair grounds, 410 Prairie Avenue, Weyburn, Saskatchewan.
Great. Thank you, Director Henning. Before we start, get a motion to get this on the floor.
Your worship, I'll move that council provide approval to the Weyburn Agricultural Society to make an application to the Saskatchewan Liquor and Gaming Authority to sell alcohol during their annual Agricultural Society Fair held outdoors at the Weyburn Agricultural Society Fairgrounds, 410 Prairie Avenue, Weyburn, Saskatchewan.
Thank you. And a seconder?
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Thank you. So questions for the Director of Engineering or for administration on this? This is pretty standard fare. Oh, Councillor Higgs, sorry.
Is this a new event here? They've had liquor at the fair before.
That's correct. This is not new. This is a standing annual request from the Ag Society that's been going on for many, many years.
Thank you.
All right. If there's nothing else, then I will call the question. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Next up is an application for a cellular tower, and I'll let the clerk know I'll be declaring a conflict of interest, so I'm going to step out. Councillor Higgs is Deputy Mayor for the month of May, so he will take the chair.
We've had this at council some time ago to discuss this tower previously, so I'll turn it over to the coordinator of development, and you can kind of go through just the high level piece of it, and we'll go from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Higgs. So the neighborhood notice process was done in accordance to the city's neighborhood notice policy. Usually when the city sends out neighborhood notices, it's for a 75-meter radius of where the intended proposal is going to be. What SaskTel did, because SaskTel was the one who did the notices, they did it at a 90-meter radius. And then there was a 30-day wait period for comments. They did receive one feedback from all the persons that they did send the notices to. And this was just, stating that they were not liking the location of the tower. SaskTel did provide written feedback to the persons that did submit their complaints. So we did have council options because this is a discretionary use application. So we did provide options for council. One, to approve the development permit for the telecommunication tower at 1115 First Avenue, Northeast, without conditions. Option 2, to approve the development permit 2026.004 for the telecommunication tower, subject to the following conditions. 1, it must comply with all applicable regulations of Innovation, Science and Economic Development Canada for communication antenna support structures. The developer must erect a fence of 2.44 meters in height around the tower structure with all access provided through a locked gate, and shall take precautions to prevent any trespassers from accessing the site or structure, and a building permit will be required for this tower. Option 3, a refuse development permit application 2026.004 for a new telecommunication tower at 1115 First Avenue Northeast. Any proposed use must have a reason for refusal. The officer making the motion for refusal should provide reasons for the permit's refusal in their motion. The recommendation, the development permit application does meet the requirements of the zoning bylaw. Therefore, option 2 is recommended that council approve does the discretionary use development permit application number 2026.004, subject to the conditions listed.
Thank you very much. Can I get a motion?
I would move that council approve option number 2, being the approval of discretionary use development permit application number 2026.004 as it meets the requirements of the zoning bylaws, subject to the conditions outlined in the report.
Seconder?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Councillor Higgs. I can't support this. I read the letter that came back from SaskTel to the resident. I understand cell towers have to go up somewhere, but I don't think this area is a good spot for it just because it is right along Jubilee Park. I live underneath cell towers, but I knew when I moved into the house that cell towers were in my backyard. These residents, I think, should have the opportunity to not have a cell tower in their backyard. I think there might be a better place for it. Even though that was in the letter, I think SaskTel can do a little bit more research.
Thank you.
I have to respectfully disagree with Councillor Morissette. One of the reasons that SaskTel likes to put these things in open areas like that is that's how FM signals work. And having seen actually been thrilled to see the overwhelming number of people taking advantage of Jubilee Park, that sucks up a lot of spectrum space and does require that kind of thing nearby. And most of those people expect to be able to use their phones in that area. So I think this is a necessary requirement of just modern day society.
Thank you. Councillor Solowski?
Thanks, Charlie. I just wanted to make sure that I'm understanding. There's currently one on the hospital property right now. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the current tower that they have or antennas they have is above the hospital. It's on the roof.
So with the movement of the hospital and the closing down of the hospital, the idea is that they still need a tower, and this is where the proposed move
Yeah,
is
so
to.
they'll be removing the ones currently on the hospital, and so the new one has to go somewhere.
Wonderful, thank you.
Any other questions? I have one piece of comment. Oh, sorry. Do you have something? No. Just one piece of commentary in the feedback letter from the resident. I would suggest that they even understand that it's necessary to do it. So although it may be not the opportune spot in their mind, I think that they understand that, once that hospital goes down, there's limited, that whole area will be limited without it. So, okay, thank you. I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried.
Should ask for all opposed as well.
All opposed? Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, Councillor Higgs. All right. Next up is the appointment of a bylaw enforcement officer. So we'd look to the city clerk for this one, please.
Thanks. Section 337 of the City Act provides that a council may appoint bylaw enforcement officers for the purpose of enforcing municipal bylaws. Bylaw enforcement officers are authorized to carry out inspections, issue notices and tickets, and take other actions necessary to ensure compliance with the city's bylaws. The city currently utilizes designated staff to perform bylaw enforcement duties. Formal appointment by council as a bylaw enforcement officer is recommended to clearly establish enforcement authority under the Cities Act and applicable city bylaws. This appointment ensures that enforcement actions undertaken by Kelly are fully supported by legislative authority. Any notices, orders, or tickets issued are legally valid, and there's clarity and consistency in the designation of enforcement personnel. Kelly Lavalette is currently a casual communications officer with Weyburn Police Service and has been hired to fill the bylaw officer position. This appointment is administrative in nature and aligns with standard practice. It is recommended that council appoint Kelly Lavalette as a bylaw enforcement officer for the city of Weyburn pursuant to section 337 of the Cities Act.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
Your worship, I'll make the motion that council appoint Kelly Laviolette as the bylaw officer for the city of Weyburn pursuant to section 337 of the Cities Act.
Thank you. A seconder?
Your worship, I'll second that motion.
Thank you very much. All right, questions on this? Any questions? Nope. Hearing none? And I will call the question. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you very much. Okay, we have got introduction of bylaws. We have none. We have no unfinished business. So we move on now to new business. This is the discretionary use application for pump jacks. So I will turn this over to Planning and Development Coordinator Malcolm for review. Thank you.
Thank you. So a discretionary use development permit application has been received for an open air concert at Pump Jacks from June 2nd to 4th, 2026 in conjunction with the oil show. The subject property is located at 596 18th Street North at the corner of 18th Street and 1st Avenue Northeast Service Road. The zoning bylaw regulates temporary uses and classifies open-air rock concerts and similar attractions as high-impact uses. Pursuant to Section 5.9.2B, these uses require a development permit and must proceed through the discretionary use approval process. The applicant is proposing an outdoor event featuring a tented setup remaining on site until June 5th, cornhole competition areas, and live music. The outdoor live music is proposed to continue until midnight, resulting in the event being classified as a high-impact temporary use. As the application involves a discretionary use, a neighborhood notice was issued to all property owners within a 200-meter radius of the subject property. The notice advised residents of the proposed development and provided an opportunity to submit comments or concerns to council. Written feedback was received and is attached to this report. Nearby property owners expressed concerns regarding the proposed end time of the outdoor event, noting that it is scheduled during the week and may negatively impact residents' well-being due to noise and other disturbances. Concerns also reference similar issues experienced during previous events with comparable times. So the event will take place on June 2nd to 4th, 2026, during the oil and gas show hosted in Weyburn. The event organizers have indicated that site setup will occur on June 1st, with dismantling activities scheduled for June 5th. The proposed concert dates are June 2nd to 4th. During these dates, outdoor live music is anticipated to start at 8 p.m. and continue until midnight, followed by a DJ playing lower volume, soft music to mitigate some noise concerns and complaints that have been received in the past years. This is intended to continue until 1:30 in the morning. The application was circulated to applicable city departments for review to ensure any concerns could be addressed. The following feedback was provided from the fire department. The National Fire Code and National Building Code include provisions applicable to tents. As such, the following requirements shall apply to this event and should be included as conditions of the permit. All tents must have an appropriate fire rating. Installation of tents must comply with the National Building Code. A minimum of 2 exits must be provided and clearly identified with proper signage. In accordance with the National Fire Code and NFPA 10, portable fire extinguishers are required with a maximum travel distance to any fire extinguisher not exceeding 75 feet. And a fire safety inspection must be completed by the Weyburn Fire Department prior to the event. The police department expressed concerns regarding the event, particularly in relation to noise complaints received in previous years. The noise bylaw permits exemptions under Section 4.1A for sounds authorized by a permit issued by the city manager or their designate. Accordingly, the following conditions are recommended for inclusion in the permit. Live music shall be permitted until 12 a.m. Or midnight on June 2nd to 4th. As per the exemption granted, live music must cease at 12 a.m. Any noise after that time must comply with the noise bylaw. Noise levels shall remain reasonable as determined at the discretion of a peace officer. The zoning bylaw, section 5.9, regulates temporary uses and classifies them into two categories: low impact and high impact. Open-air rock concerts and similar attractions are considered high-impact uses and are required to undergo the discretionary use development permit process to ensure that neighborhood notices are circulated and council approval is obtained. Section 5.9.3 outlines a standard for temporary uses and requires that high-impact uses meet the following conditions. Adequate washroom facilities and on-site parking must be provided. Required landscaping and parking areas for the principal use may not be occupied by the temporary use. The event shall not obstruct pedestrian or vehicular circulation, including vehicular site triangles. Adequate refuse containers must be provided and the site must be kept clean. And upon completion of the event, all structures, associated materials, and signage must be removed and the site left in a neat and tidy condition. Temporary uses are permitted for a maximum of 3 days. The proposed temporary use complies with the requirement as it is scheduled to occur over the 3 days, June 2nd to 4th. Concerns have been expressed by nearby property owners regarding the potential noise impacts associated with this event. Staff have addressed these concerns by limiting the hours of live music to no later than 12 midnight, which is supported by the police department. After midnight, the Weyburn Police Service may enforce the noise bylaw and require that any music or noise be reduced or discontinued if necessary. The permit will also require that the site be left in a neat and tidy condition following the event to help mitigate concerns related to litter. This requirement may also be enforced under the property maintenance bylaw. So option 1, approved development permit 2026.007 for an open air concert at 596 18th Street on June 2nd to 4th, subject to the following conditions. An inspection from the fire department shall be required upon installation of the tents and associated structures or equipment. The tents must have a fire rating. Installation must comply with the National Building Code. A minimum of 2 exits which require signage. As per the NFC and NFPA 10, portable fire extinguishers are required with a maximum travel distance to any extinguisher of 75 meters. Live music shall be permitted until 12 midnight on June 2nd to 4th. As per the exemption granted, live music shall cease at 12 a.m. and all noise after 12 shall comply with noise bylaw. The volume of noise shall be reasonable at the discretion of a peace officer. The applicant shall obtain required approvals and licenses from the Saskatchewan Liquor and Gaming Authority for the serving and consumption of alcohol on site. Arrangements must be made for adequate washroom facilities. Adequate refuse containers shall be provided on site and the site must be kept clean. And upon completion of the event, all structures, associated material, and signage shall be removed and the site left in a neat and tidy condition. Option 2, approved development permit 2026.007 for an open air concert at 596 18th Street on June 2nd to 4th, 2026, subject to the conditions listed in option 1, with the exemption that all outdoor music ends promptly at with the exception, that all outdoor music ends promptly at midnight. Option 3, approved development permit 2026.007 for an open air concert at a more suitable location on June 2nd to 4th, 2026, subject to the conditions listed in option 1. Option 4, refuse development permit 2026 for an open air concert at 596 18th Street on June 2nd to 4th, 2026. Reasons for refusal would have to be provided by the person making the motion. Recommendation, although the proposal complies with the requirements of the zoning bylaw, including provisions related to temporary uses, washroom facilities, refuse containers, and duration, the proposed development permit for the outdoor concert is not supported due to its potential impact on the surrounding residential neighborhood. Concerns related to noise, late event hours, and the resulting disruption to residents' quality of life are significant, particularly given the proximity to residential properties and similar issues experienced during the past events. As such, the proposal is not considered compatible with the character and livability of the area. Therefore, option 3 is recommended that council approve discretionary use development permit application 2026.007 for an open air concert at a more suitable location on June 2nd to 4th, 2026, subject to the conditions listed in option 1.
All right. Thank you, Coordinator Malcolm. That's a lot of information, and I appreciate your hard work, the homework that you've done in putting this together. So in order to get a discussion open, I'm going to ask for a motion.
Your Worship, if I may, I will make the motion. I'm going to make it for option 1 as the most restrictive of the 3, with a point of order that councillors have the option to add additional restrictions from the other 3 recommendations as they see fit. So I move the council approve development permit number 2026.007 for open air concert from June 2nd to 4th, 2026, subject to the conditions outlined in option 1.
Thank you. And a seconder for that, please.
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Thank you. All right. Discussion. And I would say, I see there's a couple of folks, I think, in the gallery. Maybe, do you want to speak to this? If you're welcome to, but it's entirely up to you. I don't want to put you on the spot. However, there's only one rule to speaking to it. You have to go to the microphone, identify yourself, and then keep it to under 3 minutes. If you would do that, I think council would like to hear from you. Yeah. So just your name and just your points, and no pressure, by the way. Just relax and tell us what you're feeling.
Well, my name is Michael Atch. This is the first time I've ever done this. So first time I've actually been in a city council meeting ever.
Well, welcome.
Yes.
It's quite fun.
Yes. Well, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, well, I just want to say I live behind the place, right directly behind it. And in past years, like you said up there, they went well past they said they would stop at a certain time. They just kept on going and going and going. And the beer bottles everywhere, the mess that was always left behind. It was quite the mess. And I noticed up there you said that they had to provide adequate parking on site. Well, the tent's taking up the whole parking lot, so they always fill up the residential streets, right? So there isn't even the adequate parking up there that's recommended. I'm not sure what to say, but there's young families in the neighborhood. There's one lady I talked to, she had a small baby, and she's more than happy to sign a little petition I did. She's like a little baby like this, and she looked tired as it was, and she lived about 3 or 4 houses down, and she was just happy to be able to do that. And I had another family came, and they said to me that they have to leave every time this happens because it's just too noisy. So I just want to say that I'm really hoping that you recommend number 3, because I don't think that it should be canceled. I just don't think that's the right spot for it. That's my belief. And like I said, being a resident who lives right there, and I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to work, and even midnight's pretty late, right? So, and noise doesn't stay on the highway commercial lot, it travels, right? It doesn't just stay where it comes. And anyways, that's my 2 bits. I'm not really sure what else I can say. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for coming up.
Yeah,
appreciate that. Thank you. Did you want to speak too, or? No? Okay, very good. Okay. We'll go around the room for council then. Thoughts, conversation? Who'd like to start? Councillor Bador.
So I did reach out to one of the residents in the area, and from their perspective, it is not so much about this event. It's about kind of the larger issue of having that venue there, and maybe some of the ongoing concerns about noise in that area. And I think as I read through some of the permit stuff, I think what my takeaway from that is that maybe we have to do a better job around bylaw and making sure that that's focused on in that area, that it's not so much about this specific event. This is a culmination because it's a big event, but it is that area where it can get noisy at times, and it becomes a part of life. But I want to, their point was, that this is a way to speak to it. Now, we need to maybe do a better job of dealing with that area in general, not just this specific event.
Very good. Thank you. Anybody else want to speak to this? Councillor Higgs?
Yeah, Coordinator Malcolm, in regards to the permitting process and how that all lays out, I just want assurance that all the timelines were met.
Yes, they were.
Okay, within our bylaws. Okay, and this undoubtedly doesn't fall within, if I may, another question.
Yes, please.
Yeah. It probably doesn't fall within our preview, and you may not know the answer to this, but the event at the fair that we just approved had to have security. This particular event, it doesn't say anything about that. Is that because they already have a liquor permit? Is that, or you don't know that?
In relation to security,
Right.
I'm not entirely sure.
That's not a fair question. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, now hearing that out loud, I think that would be SLGA's.
Right, that's kind of where I was
purview
thinking.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So if SLGA issued the permit for the tent, they would have addressed that.
Okay, no, that's kind of where I thought. Okay.
Now that I hear it out loud.
Yeah, and the only other commentary I would have is that, will I support it? Yes, I will. If the music, and again, I'm looking at you, but you have nothing to do with this part.
Yeah.
The music stops at midnight and somebody's over there to check the mess. And if I can be assured of that and the residents are satisfied as they can be after the event, then the next time it rolls around, I'll vote in favor for it again. But if not, I won't. So.
Thanks, Councillor Higgs. Who's next? Councillor Corrigan?
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm very sympathetic to the residents in the area. I live in the area and I understand the noise levels. With that said, I think we need to find some balance here too. I would like to see this event go forward this year with some very strict restrictions on the noise and enforcement of the noise to be shut down at midnight. I don't think even DJs after midnight should not be allowed in this event, quite frankly. And as Councillor Higgs mentioned, the cleanup afterwards. If it's not adhered to this year, I don't think we should approve it for next year. And they can look for a different venue for this particular event next year. I wish this had come to us a month ago. And we could have had a robust conversation here at council and also with all the parties involved. But we're on a short time frame right here. And I think to find some balance to be fair to everybody involved in in this particular event. I just, the one thing that did cross my mind, and I don't know if this is even possible and whether it would even make a difference, but I know the tent is put in their parking lot. Is there any way to move it to the street in front of the venue, the service road, and shut down that road for a couple of days? It gives parking in their parking lot. Perhaps it gives a little bit of a buffer from the building for sound. I don't know if that would work or even if it's possible.
A separate application would have to be, submitted for that street closure.
Yeah.
And then it would have to go to our engineering department and our police department.
Yeah.
And that's a whole other.
And we don't have the time frame to do that at this point in time. Yeah. I'm just trying to think of
It's cutting
options
it
available
close.
to us to at least help to rectify it.
And Counselor, I'm not too sure if it would fit within SLG either because of the separation between where the main building is and where the
Right.
tent is.
Yeah.
The applicant, I believe, puts the tent attached because of SLG.
Thank you.
Councillor Morissette?
Thank you, Your Worship. Well, I'm going to be a broken record and echo my previous councillors. You know what? We understand that this is a great opportunity for the oil show. This is a great opportunity for pump jacks, and we want to support local business. But in my time of being on council, these letters have come every oil show. And, I want to see this go ahead, but I do want to be sympathetic to the residents of the area. So again, I can support this with the caveat that yes, all music is turned off by midnight and that everything is enforced after that. I would also suggest that perhaps the oil show put their heads together with the business owner and talk about a potential shuttle service to help alleviate the extra traffic in the area and the potential for DUIs.
Thank you. Councillor Janke.
Your worship, I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe there is a shuttle service in place.
Yeah.
So that has been considered. I understand the concerns. I also live in that part of town, closer than John, not as close as you, Michael. And I know it can get loud. I haven't personally noticed the garbage or the other concerns, but I also haven't looked that closely. So your worship, I will commit to doing that this year to get that feedback. I agree with Councillor Bedore that it seems like the larger issue here is that at some point a discretionary approval was given to open that facility right next to that residential neighborhood. Unfortunately, rightly or wrongly, that decision's already made, and nothing we do tonight is going to affect that one way or the other. But what we could affect is establishing a precedent for any number of similarly located highway commercial zones that are right next to them, and what we are establishing as can and cannot be done for them, which could have long-term effects on this. So I don't disagree with anyone's points that we need to make sure that the rules are being followed. And if they haven't in the past, then, you know, there's room for improvement on that. And to Larry's point, I agree that if they're not followed this year, after we've kind of made a big deal about it, then next time there's a much harder conversation to be had. But as it stands right now, I would support any of the stricter, make sure that they follow the rules to the letter. But in my mind, all of those are already implied in the bylaw as it stands. So really options 1, 2, and 4 are pretty much the same thing in my mind.
Thank you. Councillor Sedlowski.
Thank you. Excuse me. I would echo what my colleagues said. I also have previously lived a block down the street on Dieppe. I have 3 small children as well. And I understand that the noise does affect day-to-day life. So I do sympathize with that. I also think that the oil show is a large event in the community and an important event in the community. I didn't notice last oil show those issues. As everyone else has said, I think we will keep a much closer eye on it this year and ensure that those are followed. But I will also support this with the 12 o'clock noise restriction.
Okay, thank you. So a couple of things. We're saying now that it's all music done at 12, no DJ from 12 till 2. Is that, am I understanding what, and is that what your motion contained as well?
Not specifically. The motion says subject to the conditions outlined in option number 1.
Yeah.
Which, and Coordinator Malcolm, please jump in if I make a mistake on this, but it specifies live music ends. It does not specify all music ends. So if we want to be clear on this, that it is all music, then that would need to be amended.
An amendment. So I'd be looking for an amendment, I think, to this to turn off all the music at no later than midnight.
Worship, if I may.
Yeah.
Do you want to speak to that, or? I will amend my motion to state that with the additional requirement that all outdoor music shall end promptly at 12 a.m. midnight.
Thank you.
I'll second that amendment.
You second that amendment. Any discussion on the amendment? This is where I'm going to get lost. Any discussion? Sorry, that part is closed. I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry about that. So discussion from council on this amendment before we vote. So all music, no DJ after 12. All music shut off at 12. All right.
So the only question I would ask is that option number 4 also stated that Weyburn Police Service and bylaw enforcement will monitor and enforce. I think that's worth mentioning. I don't feel the need to include that in the amendment, though, because it seems to me that that should be happening every night under every circumstance.
Right.
So while I don't mind saying it out loud,
yes,
we'll make sure maybe we put a bug in their ear about this. I don't think that needs to be part of the motion.
Yes.
It's the only reason why I didn't include it directly.
Yeah. Thanks for that clarification. Yeah. Okay. Other commentary on the amendment to say all music ends at midnight, 12 a.m., I guess is the word. Okay, hearing none, then I will call that question. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you very much. So now we are voting on Councillor Janke's original motion as amended. The change being that all music ends at 12 midnight, correct? Speak to that.
And just as a commentary to yourselves and anybody else who is filed or signed the petition, if this bylaw has not been enforced in the past as it should have been, then I think council apologizes to you for that. Yeah. And we are not at liberty to speak for WPS, but likely they would as well. Yeah. So we'll ensure that that gets done better this year.
And I think we can say that we'll have a conversation with Chief Van de Sype between now and then to also ensure that special attention is paid, maybe over and above what's been done in the past to the extent that they're able to do that. Yeah. Okay. Any other commentary on the new motion as amended? No? Then I will call the question. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming, by the way. That is an important thing to do. All right. Okay, guys, here we are, end of the night. Lots of inquiries and announcements. Who would like to start? Councillor Janke.
Since we're already on this topic, the Southeast Oil and Gas Show is happening on the 3rd and 4th of June this year, and is preceded by the annual golf tournament and rodeo on the 2nd.
Yes, looking forward to all of that. Thank you. Who's next? Councillor Morissette.
Thank you, Your Worship. So I guess in keeping with that, we want to clean up our city and have all of our visitors feel welcome. It is Way Clean Week here in the city of Weyburn. This year's focus is encouraging residents to care for the areas around their properties, including sidewalks, front streets, back alleys, and nearby shared spaces. Keeping these areas clear helps improve the look of our neighborhoods and supports the important day-to-day operations. So if you go to the City of Weyburn website, it shows you that today was supposed to be a focus on Area 3, tomorrow is Area 4, Wednesday Area 5, Thursday Area 1, and Friday Area 2, and that it coincides with the garbage pickup. So yeah, if you wouldn't mind getting out there. I know Councillor Janke and I have pitted our children against each other and had them go out with garbage bags and some sticks, some gloves. Are we prepared to do that again this year?
Absolutely, we're prepared to do that again this year. I noticed that there is an article in front of the mayor right now that I don't approve of, and I'd like to replace it with a better one. So.
Right.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
This has been a miserable meeting to look at that, I will say. Councillor Sidlowski, would you like to speak to that?
On that note, I would first like to congratulate all those that coordinated and successfully ran the Paramedics with Heart run on Saturday. It was a phenomenal event. The weather cooperated. It was really amazing to see everyone who came out. There was music. There was a lot of people in attendance, and it was a really great event. So I look forward to next year and hopefully participating next year. Next, we can address the silver rake in front of Mayor Richards. So we have been working hard with the City of Estevan, and we are happy to announce that the Golden Garbage Can will return on June 17th. We are very excited for this friendly rivalry.
Friendly.
We are committed to bringing home the garbage can this year and hoping that we will have local community members, businesses, and all those who are willing to partake in this. So we are hoping to bring the garbage can home, and we will have probably lots of fun leading up to it.
We're planning to bring the garbage can home. Yeah. Yeah. Who else? Councillor Bedore?
All right, I've got a couple. We've got Thursday night this week, the home opener for the Beavers. So make sure, I think the weather is supposed to be good. It's supposed to be toasty this week. So make sure and go out and support them this Thursday on their home opener. And I was lucky enough to attend some service awards at the Weyburn Fire Department here meeting the other day. So I got 3 of them. Danielle Koslag for 5 years of service with the firefighters. Byron Shangraw for 10 years of service, and George Kerr with a mere 40 years of service to the Weyburn Fire Department. George started when he was 1 year old.
Right.
And George has been just such a staple in our community for, you'll see him at the Red Wing games, you'll see him at a fire, and you'll see him near a lift station, and he does that every day. Thank you, George.
Thanks, Councillor Bedore. Anybody else? Oh, administration. Yes, city manager.
I just have one tonight. It's grad season, Your Worship,
Yep.
and I had the opportunity to attend Southeast College's Weyburn grad today. A lot of hardworking individuals, and I really support what they're doing there with the college. They're also having their ceremonies in the Whitewood campus and the Estevan campus later on this week.
Yep. Thanks for that. Yep. Agreed. Anybody else? All right, that's enough for tonight, maybe. Okay, we have no notice of motions. So with that, I will say, Mayor Cernick, I'm coming to put this on your desk because I'm taking the can home. And that's that. We will call this meeting adjourned. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
If you'd like to share your feedback on the program you just watched, contact us today